Well, a lot more on that coming up.
And we know the hurricane already leaving disaster in its path, making landfall as a Category 5 storm in Dominica. The prime minister there rescued from the debris. He says so many homes around him have been destroyed, Michael.
Yes, they have, Robin, sadly enough. And take a look at Hurricane Maria from space. This video shows it approaching the island, and now it's heading toward Puerto Rico, where they're warning of catastrophic damage.
And of course, it is not the only storm right now. Also watching another hurricane, Jose, as it moves towards the northeast. There are watches and warnings from Virginia to Maine. Lots of concerns about coastal flooding.
Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to Ginger, who's tracking both Hurricane Maria and Jose in our Extreme Weather Center. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning to you, Robin. And you know what, Maria, the first Category 5 hurricane to make landfall in Dominica ever. So we are watching that. We're going to give you the track. But first, we want to focus in because a lot of you are waking up this morning on the East Coast and saying, what is up with Jose? Well, it's still a couple hundred miles away from the coast. The piling of water has already happened. 8 to 10 foot waves already on the central Jersey shore. Ice slip up through Connecticut in that tropical storm watch. Rhode Island up through Plymouth, Massachusetts in the warning. And then we've got to, of course, talk about beyond the piling of water in the Northeast in the next couple of days. This one, Hurricane Maria, moving west-northwest at 9 miles per hour. Next up will be the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and also Puerto Rico, all in a hurricane warning. And you can see as that track takes it just northeast, on the northeast corner of Puerto Rico. And that landfall would put it close to Fajardo. But remember, the cone is important. Impacts all the way there, even in the parts of the northeastern part of Dominican Republic. Then it turns into the Atlantic, east of the Turks, east of the Bahamas, and away from Florida and hopefully the Carolinas as we go into the weekend. We've got to, of course, go to Puerto Rico, though, because that's where Rob Marciano is, and it's been 2 decades almost since they've had a landfalling hurricane. Rob, what's it looking like now?
Well, the sun is out, Ginger. I mean, you wouldn't know that there's a major hurricane, Cat 5 now, south and east of us, other than the surf picking up just a little bit. But people are going about their day, having a morning swing, a morning jog. It really wasn't until yesterday afternoon we started seeing people boarding up. There's going to be a surge that slams into that area, so starting to make some preps. But there wasn't a huge lack of urgency yesterday. But some of the people I talked to today, the anxiety level is definitely rising, certainly after they've seen what this storm has done to the Leeward Islands overnight.
Overnight, Hurricane Maria pummeling the tiny island nation of Guadalupe. Winds up to 160 miles per hour and intense rains already causing flooding. Thrashing waters in the neighboring island of Martinique, leaving boats there bobbing violently in the seas.
It's crazy. The cell towers are already down. There's no flashlights, there's no batteries. A lot of places are out of water.
The island of Dominica totally destroyed after the storm made landfall there as a Category 5. The Prime Minister writing on Facebook, so far the winds have swept away the roofs of almost every person I've spoken to or otherwise made contact with.
This is not a time for heroism.
Maria now barreling towards Puerto Rico.
People are nervous, scared?
Definitely.
Residents bracing for landfall.
You got to be prepared for at least a week and a half.
The rationing of basic supplies like water, milk, and canned goods already beginning. But many areas simply won't be able to take a direct impact.
Just outside some of these protective walls, shanty towns exposed to the Atlantic Ocean and no match for a major hurricane.
Residents who have stuck it out through Hurricane Irma now ordered to abandon flood-prone areas, warned, if not, you will die.
All of the debris that's piled up behind me, we're worried about that becoming projectiles.
And other islands in the hurricane's path still in ruins after Irma, now preparing again for the worst.
Not a lot of debris here from Irma. We just took a glancing blow, but Maria, as you know, is going to make a direct strike, and that means that winds are going to be off the water, out of the northeast. And all of these hotels that line the beaches of San Juan are exposed to that hurricane wind. This hotel has hurricane-resistant glass, but not all of them do. The governor here admitting that the infrastructure, especially inland, is poor. There are 450 shelters open, and he's warning those who live in flood and wind-prone areas need to get to those shelters today if they haven't already. Robin?
Dominica has already felt the brunt of Maria, and I understand that we have been in contact with the Prime Minister's office there.
We have, Robin, and they relayed this harrowing story where the Prime Minister, when he talked to his citizens, when they told them about roofs being ripped off their homes, the roof off of his house has been ripped off. And now